in our work, they literally performed the separations and did the medical studies on patients in their 6 hospitals that they own. And the one hospital they built in Beijing as a gift to the Chinese government for the Olympics. It was a gift. They gave them a brand new hospital, totally equipped with instrumentation and everything. But they brought me over there and I worked with these people and we administered these materials as pure elements to various patients with all sorts of diseases and illnesses to see the effects. And while we were administering it to them, we were monitoring the DNA, we were monitoring their conditions, and we began to give low doses. We were giving placebos, we were giving double-blind studies to them. We were just doing everything, you know, to see what would happen, what the effects would be. It was used on plant tissue, gardens, hydroponics applications, you know, everything. These people are doing just profound things. I needed to have the knowledge and understanding, but I promised I would not use their name and not divulge specific information. So I can't tell you, due to the relationship I have with these people, and that's why you haven't seen me for 12 years. Okay, I apologize for it, but it was necessary to get this work done and to witness it. What we decided, and this is important, I think, for my thinking, is that this really should not be thought of as medicine. Okay? Our thinking today is you have something wrong with you, you want a medicine to cure the problem. We should not think of this as a medicine. Now, this is my opinion I'm giving you right now. You should think of this as a transmutating material for mankind, because the effect on your body is a holistic effect. It's not just a disease effect. When it is given to patients that have cancers, basically it stimulates the immune system dramatically, but it also speeds up the cancer, because the cancer is part of the living body. Like it or not, it's a healthy cell that's gone crazy, but it actually speeds up its activity also. If you take the patient off before he is cured of the cancer runs rampant through his body at a much faster rate than it was running before you got a hold of him. So our conclusion after doing all the work, it's great for HIV. It really stimulates the immune system. If he doesn't have anything else wrong with him, it's great for HIV. But it really should not be thought of as a medicine or a cure. It really is about literally filling your body with the Spirit, not a medicine. Okay? We know that in the Western world, science does not acknowledge the Meister field around our bodies. The Meister field is not an electrical field. It's the way people describe it because they don't have any other term, any other way to talk about it. But the aura, or the field around our bodies that exists around our bodies right now, is a non-polar field. It doesn't have a North Pole, it doesn't have a South Pole, it just exists around our bodies. In the eastern part of the world, they have known this for thousands of years, and they call it the chi. Okay? And they have their medicines that they don't describe as, you know, the polysaccharides or, you know, whatever. They actually talk about it as the vibrational frequency of the chi. And when you have a disease where the chi is affected in your body, you need this material because it contains the chi you need for your body. Prana. Or prana, you know, I don't want to get into semantics here, but they literally don't think about it as a medicine in the traditional Chinese medicine, all right? Over here, scientists don't even consider that there's a field there. And when you die, they can't tell you why you die, they just tell you what stops when you die. Okay, well, they said, Dave, what you have is the chi. These resonance oscillators are producing a magnetic field around them that we call the chi. So for them, they just totally understood this, you know, from the get-go. What we have found is when you put this in a tube furnace and the last annealing, you get that snow white powder and you pull it out of the tube furnace and it cools to ambient temperature, put your hand on there about 2 or 3 inches from the tube and it floats. It responds to the magnetic field around your body, which nobody else has ever been able to analyze the field, and yet it floats in response to your hand. But if you stop and pick up a magnet and put it up there with a magnet, nothing happens. But you put the magnet down, put your hand back up there, and it floats. So it is producing the same field as your body has around it. Or the life force is what we're talking about here. Or what they call in the East the chi. It's the life force. All right. This material is in the food you eat, the water you drink, the air you breathe. It's everywhere. And you normally, with a good balanced diet, you will get plenty of this into your body for a good, healthy, normal life. All right? It's part of the living system. However, understanding how it works, there are some people who've written some information that I think is really important to understand, and much of it, many of you actually have read already. All right? And I referenced some of these. I just want to go through them with you just real quickly here so you can see what they're saying and understand how this system, mini-atom system, literally acting like one atom in connection with the vacuum, is working in our lives and how it relates to our bodies and our living systems. The holographic universe, I think most of you are familiar with this textbook. All right? Right? Yeah. Good. All right, let's take the next page. I just give you that as a reference. All right, so most people understand how a hologram is produced. You have a single frequency light, just like a superconductor. All right, single frequency light goes through a beam splitter, then hits the object, and then comes back with the beam back together, and where they intersect, they create a hologram image right here on film. The hologram image, let's go to the next page. The hologram image is here on the left that they show you what it looks like for an apple. Well, that doesn't resemble an apple at all, does it? But in fact, when you run the single frequency light back through that negative, you get the apple. Okay? And the apple, you can walk around the apple, and it is a three-dimensional apple. And that's just amazing to me that that negative produces that apple. But it has encoded in that negative all of the information about that apple is in that film right there. Not only is it in that film, but let's go to the next slide. If you take a little piece of the film and shine the same laser frequency through a little piece of the film, you get this apple again. So the information is not in the whole film necessarily, it's in any piece of the film. All the information is there also. Now, you know, that's just kind of mind-boggling when you think about it. You know, it just doesn't make sense. And it's not just the information on the image in front, like a picture. You can walk around the apple, and the back side of the apple is there too. You walk around the 3 dimensions, and it's all there in that squiggly plate there. What they're trying to do is explain how the superconductivity can be explained, and they're talking about that the light can carry the information that encoded in the light, in fact, is the information about this subject. Now, we're talking about apples here. It also can be anything that contains the information. And it doesn't have to look like what it contains. Anyway, this is very interesting, you know, I think, to understand how a two-dimensional being would see the occurrence of a three-dimensional activity. That a two-dimensional being that only sees in 2 dimensions witness a three-dimensional man walking through his two-dimensional world. You know, you see the foot come in, the foot go out, and it disappears. Another foot comes in, goes out, and disappears. Foot comes in, goes out, and it disappears. It's not really gone. It's just not in your two-dimensional world. Well, when you live in a three-dimensional world and something disappears from your three-dimensional world, it's still there. You just can't see it in your three-dimensional world because it's out there in a 4th dimension. Understand? It's still there. It's just not there in your three-dimensional existence. Just like the foot is still there, but in another dimension, not in your two-dimensional world. Now, in our three-dimensional world, the foot goes through it, But as it goes out, you don't see it. Well, it doesn't mean it's not there. It's just not in your three-dimensional world. And here, top 0 equals minus 1 and plus 1. People have asked me, where is the 0 point? And I tell you, if you get a chart, you can find a chart that has all the electromagnetic spectrum on it, everything beginning with radio waves, entire waves, all the way down to microwaves and gamma radiation, the whole chart. Where are you going to find 0? It is between plus 1 electron volt and minus 1 electron volt. There is no half electron volt. Mathematically, you can calculate it and come up with a half electron volt, but there's no real half an electron volt. There's 1 electron, or there's a minus electron, but there's nothing in between. Halfway in between is the 0 point.